The honor part of ourselves is the one that we give ourself permission to feel and to be. No awards will show you that. They have no meaning now. Most objects, unless they are precious to you, are insignificant now. Once power shows its true nature, the nature of its oppression, slavery, is going to show us something about ourselves. There's a responsibility with power, and we all have it. And we all use it every day in every interaction with everything we do. But power is something that is directed to a source. And that source inside yourself, inside myself, is changing now because we're thinking more about language. You see it really all over the internet now. So many people speaking of how much they will not put up with negativity, criticism, just overtly being rude. And I think it's serious, it's comical, but it is also time to honor all journeys, to listen. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I use the word honor, and I always relate that to the native tribes of the world. They have a very beautiful language, from the Maoris to Native Americans to the Irish, Scottish, Indian, Eskimo. Their language is built on a trust with themselves and with nature and with their own nature. This relationship has been severed pretty much for 2,000 years. We're now waking up to the fact that it was severed. And this awakening to this severing to our relationship of something very beautiful inside ourselves. I refer to it as your sovereignty, your heart, your soul, your mind. Those aspects of yourself have a very ancient language in them. And that language connects you to every single human being on this planet. But it cannot be enacted the way it has been by certain groups of people in the world, which is that I present to you, I am better than you, or you are better than me. This is mine, this is not yours. It's the us versus them, I versus we. To me, it's all in language. And the language we use towards ourselves and towards one another. Of course, the language we use towards ourselves will be reflected in the language we use outside. So, the negativity and the power constantly playing a tennis match on your court. Sometimes you just want to walk away from the game. There's other things to do, and there should be, actually. So the story is, if power and negativity are playing a tennis match and you walk away, will the game still be played? It's like waiting for the sound of a tree falling in a forest. Will it be heard when there's absence? this again is me talking about the invisible. And obviously there's a lot of stuff in the sciences and physics right now that is giving us this beautiful amount of information to discuss the invisible, that it's very real, that the darkness around us is full of light, of magic, of words, of numbers, but it is also full of the opposite, the inner world and the outer world. How can they become one? So then we start talking about the idea of the possibility of a new world, a new future, a new birth. See, all this language has been used in a way to mock itself. And we begin to just eat it up like we eat up facts and information from everywhere else on the internet or in conversation or television. But in fact, there is a language, the simple language, a binding, sacred language that needs to be awakened again. It's been quiet for a long, long time. And as I said earlier, there are many people that do not have this language inside themselves, or they have not been able to find it. And I'm a very strong believer in the language we use towards the world, towards our pets, towards the nature around us, where we walk, where we sleep. That relationship is not about power. It's about truth. And maybe that's really the war that's going on right now. Power versus truth. For now, I'm going to leave you with a question. And the question is, what are the invisible threads that are holding things together? And what are those threads that are falling apart?